Did you know that April is National Volunteer Month? And have you ever given any thought to volunteering at any of the county's many important volunteer opportunities? Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. On today's show, we'll take a look at some of those volunteer opportunities. We'll bring you new developments in off-beach parking. Then we'll get some information about the county's Junior Lifeguard Program. We'll find out why compost is considered black gold with Horticulture Today's correspondent Joe Sewards. Then Here and Now reporter Kendra Lee takes us on a field trip to the Barberville Pioneer Settlement for the Arts. Finally, we'll join into the studio with Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest, County Engineer Jerry Brinton. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. April is National Volunteer Month, and this is a great opportunity to find new ways to help your neighbors, animals, or the environment. Thousands of residents are making positive changes in their community by lending their time and talents through Volusia County's many citizen volunteer opportunities. Volunteers rescue stranded sea turtles. They help prevent crime, assist library staff, and more. It's easy to become a volunteer, and it's fun, and it's a valuable way to spend your free time. Citizen volunteers are helping the Volusia County Sheriff's Office take a bite out of crime through the Citizen Observer Program, also known as COP.
Our volunteers give us so much. It's enormous cost savings that you really can't put a price on. The amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of expertise and work they do for us is just invaluable. The civilian volunteers allow us to do things that maybe we couldn't get done. Sometimes because of a funding issue, we're not able to hire employees in that position. It also allows us, the employees, to do other work that our volunteers can step up to the plate and do for us. They're out there wanting to help us. We need their help. They do a lot of work for us that allows us to do more and above for the citizens of Volusia County.
By far, our largest group of volunteers work in the county's public libraries, where volunteers assist library staff at public service desks. They check materials in and out and shelve returned materials.
Well, we have a lot of volunteers throughout the library system, and they are committed to the libraries. They see that the libraries are an important part of our community. And without them, we would not be able to maintain our level of service that we maintain in the libraries. They're just so vital to our overall operation.
Volusia County government has 30 advisory boards composed of citizen volunteers who are appointed by the Volusia County Council. These boards serve an essential role in policy-making processes by providing the County Council with in-depth assessments of issues related to their area of expertise. The county also has nearly 100 groups that clean roads through the Adopt a Road program. And the Agricultural Center is always looking for 4-H leaders, home community educators, and master gardeners. For information, you can go online to volusia.org/volunteer. With an eye to future parking needs along Volusia's beaches, the Volusia County Council recently approved the purchase of 1.82 acres of land at the corner of Cardinal Drive and State Road A1A in Ormond Beach. The purchase price was $1.8 million. This is the first property purchased by the county on the west side of A1A under the current program to acquire land for off-beach parking. The property has a gas station with 2 years left on a lease. The lease requires the tenant to remove the fuel storage tanks and provide a clean site upon vacancy. The county plans to demolish the building to provide about 150 parking spaces.
This particular parcel offered us a rare opportunity in the Ormond area. It's on the west side, but it has a safe crosswalk with a signalized intersection. Plus there are public facilities and a lifeguard station in this area. So we think it offers an unusual opportunity for the future.
Earlier this year, the County Council approved the purchase of a vacant oceanfront lot in Daytona Beach Shores for $2.95 million. It covers 1.6 acres and offers 210 feet of ocean front. In 2014, the county purchased the Argosy Motel in Ormond by the Sea, the Jasmine Motel in Daytona Beach Shores, and a 3/4-acre lot near Hiles Boulevard in New Smyrna Beach. The combined price of just over $3 million will result in more than 200 new parking spaces for residents and for visitors. The county also partnered with Ormond Beach to buy land and build the $8.2 million 4.5-acre Andy Romano Beachfront Park, which opened in 2013 next to a no-driving zone on the beach. The county has more than 3,500 off-beach parking spaces from Ormond by the Sea through the Canaveral National Seashore. Youths between 9 years and 15 years old who are looking for sun and fun and water might find an end to summertime boredom in the Junior Lifeguard Program. Now in its 26th year, the program teaches participants about beach safety in a fun and challenging atmosphere. Professional lifeguards teach water safety and first aid techniques. Junior lifeguards also will participate in daily team relays involving surfboard, paddling, swimming, running, and beach flags. The 5-day camps also help to build self-confidence and prepare participants to work as lifeguards. Mark Swanson is director of Volusia County's Beach Safety Division.
This is not a learn to swim program. This is a program where they have to come in with basic swimming skills, and during that recruitment process they have to be able to swim 100 yards in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. They have to be able to swim underwater for 10 feet, and they also have to be able to tread water for about 5 minutes.
Youths must attend one of the tryouts between May 2nd and June 6th at the local YMCA's and the Aqua Park in Edgewater. Upon completion of the physical test, a $150 tuition fee will be due.
This camp is a fun-filled week of activities that promote a healthy lifestyle and getting kids off the couch. Basically, the kids will learn CPR skills. They'll learn what to do if they're ever caught in a rip current. We also do camp cookouts at the end of the week that the parents can come to and see what the children have learned. We do little mini competitions.
Enrollment is limited and applications are accepted on a first-come, first-served basis. The week-long camps are from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. June 8th through 26th in Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach Shores, and New Smyrna Beach. For more information, you can contact Beach Safety Ocean Rescue at 386-547-0246, or you can go online to juniorlifeguard@volusia.org.
Many of the items you throw out are not biodegradable and take centuries to break down. Reduce, reuse, recycle are separate but interconnected ideas that minimizes waste and saves money. The process is simple. The best way to reduce waste is to avoid creating it. According to the EPA, on average, Americans each produce over 4 pounds of trash per day. To help reduce trash, switch from plastic to reusable bags. Next, reuse items destined to be discarded. Get creative in reusing trash to reduce waste and save money. Finally, recycling takes items from materials that are discarded and turns them into new products. For example, plastic bottles can be recycled into carpet and benches. Many communities make recycling easy by offering programs such as curbside pickup. Newspaper, plastic bottles, glass, and pop cans are all recyclable items. Reduce, reuse, recycle decreases the amount of waste people create. Help keep our earth clean. Make the choice to reduce, reuse, and recycle today.
For more information on Volusia County's recycling program, you can visit volusia.org and select recycling from the drop-down menu. Discover the wonders of yesterday today. Volusia Here and Now reporter Kendra Lee takes us to Barberville's Historic Village Museum for a refreshing step away from technology and get a blast from the past.
Established in 1976 by a group of school teachers, the Barberville Pioneer Settlement is now coming up on 40 years of successful preservation for all future generations. The settlement showcases 18 historical structures and about 10,000 artifacts.
When people come for just a regular day, we have a self-guided tour that's available, and we have a brochure that they get when they come in that they can do their own tour, walk through, take their time, look at the structures, read in the brochure about how we acquired them and the historical significance of them. And then we also have field trips where a lot of kids from all over Central Florida come here on field trips, and they get to experience more of a living history demonstration.
During field trips, children learn about the settlement from hands-on educational programming. Some of the programs include candle making, weaving on a loom, and even making hand-shaken butter. On-site demonstrators allow scheduled tour guests and field trip groups to experience woodworking, blacksmithery, and wool spinning on an antique spinning wheel. In order for visitors outside of the school system to get the full experience, Wes recommends a guided tour. Here at the Barberville Pioneer Settlement, there's tons of things to do, including get eggs from chickens. I'm going to get some today to take home and make some scrambled eggs. One of the interesting features of the settlement is the mini farm.
We have a kind of a mini farm, which we also use in our programs. We teach kids that eggs don't come out of a carton and meat doesn't come out of a package. We have 5 goats, we have a miniature burro, a mule, a goose, peacocks, chickens.
The settlement is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. unless there is a special event going on. Special events normally take place on weekends and extended hours into Sunday. The next special event happening at the settlement is the Barberville Pioneer Settlement Annual Spring Frolic.
It's our second largest fundraising event, and it's happening on April 25th and 26th. And it's a music and dance and living history celebration.
The Spring Frolic will feature over 200 volunteer musicians, 7 stages, numerous arts and crafts vendors, food, and a whole atmosphere of living history demonstrations. Don't miss your chance to join the fun and see what this historical preservation has to share. To learn more about the Barberville Pioneer Settlement and the upcoming Spring Frolic event, visit pioneersettlement.org. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Kendra Lee.
To gardeners, compost is considered black gold because of its many benefits in the garden. Today, horticulturalist Joe Sewards will visit a local gardener and they will show us the waste materials we can use to feed our garden of the nutrients needed for a healthy soil.
Today I want to introduce Bob Croft, and we're going to talk about his garden and some of the things he's doing here that you could do in your gardens as well at home. We're going to start off by talking about compost. You've obviously got one side that's unfinished and one side that's finished. Talk to us about that.
Well, Joe, the reason I have 2 sides is while one is, shall we say, cooking,
right,
the other side is finished product. And what it involves is any kind of organic matter. Eliminating no meats though, no fish, no meats,
right,
anything that'll attract critters and bugs, etc., and smell, you don't need it.
Do you have any problems with critters?
Not with just using vegetables.
What kind of things do you put in here?
Leaves, grass clippings, as we see here, anything from the kitchen. This here has coffee grounds, etc.
You got coffee grounds, you got some leafy stuff in
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
It looks like you got a spent avocado in there, and
that's
you
it.
let it rot for a while inside. It doesn't smell. You keep the lid on it. You throw it on the compost
and
pile.
if you need to, if you have a whole lot, I just get a pile of leaves, cover it up. No one will even know it's in there.
You even got spent tomato vines in here with tomatoes still on them.
That's right.
What keeps those from germinating?
They do germinate.
They do?
Oh yeah,
but then
they'll
it gets
germinate.
hot enough that.
But once it starts cooking, I don't know. I think it's about 180 degrees you want it, give or take. With the compost, you need oxygen and also you need water. 2 important ingredients. Yep. If it's too compact, and there's no oxygen, it's not going to cook.
Do you have to get in here and turn this
yes,
from time to time?
It helps to turn it, absolutely. You know, every month or so, every 3 weeks or a month, you need to turn it. And I just get a pitchfork, turn it around, turn it over, And I have some neighbors also that give me some of their kitchen scraps, which works out pretty good, really.
Absolutely.
So, and it depends. In the wintertime, it could take 3 months, maybe longer. In the summertime, you could have compost in a month.
Really?
Well, with the hot temperature,
Yeah.
once it gets up to 90 plus, it really takes off.
So we got unfinished compost, and this is what it turns into after a period of time, and this is what you put in the garden.
Exactly. I mean, look at it. I
Beautiful.
mean, you know, you can't get much better than that there, you know what I mean? Look at that.
And then so every time you
that's
harvest,
beautiful.
whenever you harvest a crop, you go through and you replenish the soil with the
Absolutely,
compost you've made.
especially here in Florida. You got
Absolutely.
to. You got to do it. If you don't have compost and you have a raised bed, you'll get a year, maybe 2, but that's it. And then the bugs will start killing you, the nematodes, you name it. You got to have compost. You really should.
So here's a real-world example of how folks can compost at home. I'm standing right next to it. It doesn't smell bad at all. There's no critters, no bugs whatsoever, and it's a great way to replenish your garden soil after you've harvested a crop. Organic matter helps hold more moisture. It helps hold nutrients in the garden so you don't have to water, you don't have to fertilize as often. And it's also a great deterrent for nematodes, which are a huge problem here in Florida. Obviously, Bob's having no trouble with his garden here. As you can see, his plants are perfectly healthy. So Bob, thanks.
You're welcome, Joe.
Appreciate it. We'll
My
talk
pleasure.
about your garden next time.
Okay.
So there you have it. Composting. It's easy to do, it's beneficial, it's good for the environment, it's good for your vegetable garden.
Amen.
For Horticulture Today, I'm Joe Sewards.
Time now to head into the studio to join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, as he's joined by his guest, County Engineer Jerry Brinton.
Well, thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. You know, the Volusia County Council has placed a major priority on the construction of recreational trails. New trail sections are coming out of the ground, and within sight is the east-west missing link of the Cross County Rail Trail, which will connect Osteen to Edgewater. With us in the studio today for an update is our Volusia County Engineer, Jerry Brinton. Jerry, how you doing?
Good morning, Dave.
Hey, thanks for being with us. Big activity in the county's trail system. Let's start with some basic, just kind of some general information, Jerry, because a lot of people, I think, if they haven't been on one of our trails, they really don't have the picture of when we say trail, what are we talking about?
We're talking about a multi-use trail.
Right.
Can be used for any use other than motorized vehicles.
Right.
Unless it were a wheelchair.
Right.
And they're paved, typically with asphalt, 12 feet wide.
Right.
And they're very safe. They're designed for up to 20 miles an hour for bikes, so it can cover a wide range of beginners, parents teaching kids to ride bikes, to your more experienced, faster ones that are doing it for a workout.
You know, Jerry, I'm glad you mentioned that because, you know, a lot of people, I think when you say trail, they might think of a hiking trail or, you know, the Appalachian Trail or whatever, and that's definitely not what we're talking about here.
No, it isn't. But all uses, rollerblading, lots of strollers. It's a full range of use.
And normally you're involved in road construction or vertical construction, but you have the same type of standards that you have to go by when you're building these trails as, for example, you do with the standards you have to build a road. I mean, there's a set of specifications you have to follow.
That's correct. And those are for the purpose of, you know, consistency as well as for safety, liability. You know, we carry a lot of liability when the general public is out using these mostly recreational trails, enjoying the beautiful scenery and the lands here within Volusia County.
But 12 feet wide, I guess, gives you an opportunity for people to go in both directions. Or let's say if you're just taking a leisurely walk and someone is running behind you, gives you an opportunity to kind of go by. There's some space there.
Exactly. And if you've ever rollerbladed, you know that you swing pretty wide with those, as well as dogs are on the trail as well.
Right.
We really don't restrict it. Not even restricted to horses can use it, although we haven't really seen any use of that type.
Right.
The other thing, 12 feet allows our maintenance vehicles to go up and down, or emergency vehicles if heaven forbid, you know, an accident occurs.
And handicapped accessible too, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
You know, Jerry, you know, now that the county has got, I guess, some 20 miles or more of trails in the ground, it's turned out to be these trails are unbelievably popular. And as you pointed out earlier, you see people of all sizes, shapes, ages, and recreational desires.
You sure do. We've got 23 miles of what we call showcase trails. These are ones that we're talking about, the 12-foot wide trails, and we've got 38 miles that's funded for construction.
Right. Jerry, obviously a couple of aspects that come into play here when we're talking about spending public dollars. One is there's an economic development aspect to this, because these trails have proven to be economic enhancements to communities that have put these trail systems in.
Exactly. We're seeing that in the Pinellas Trail.
Right.
That's a very, very popular one. Orange County Trail, a number where you've gotten some development around trailheads, whatnot. We haven't seen that yet because even though we got 23 miles, it's not the full system.
Not quite
Our
as
full
mature
system
as in some
will
counties.
be 71 miles when it's finished.
And sometimes, Jerry, as you well know, there can be a little angst when you're building a new section of trail in a particular neighborhood and so forth. But at the end of the day, the experience usually is the property values go up, and you know, if there's any concern about crime, it's the opposite effect with all those people out there. If there was any crime, it mitigates itself.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen. Usually in the rural areas, over in the Blue Spring area where we have an existing trail, we saw motorized, you know, these four-wheelers jumping on it in early days, and everybody concerned. It really works itself out. What we've seen is that, you know, everybody's carrying a phone, and they've got they've got a camera on it, so it's self-policing. People are calling and reporting, and you know, your violators are moving to some other location.
And of course, the other positive note about all of these trails, Jerry, is the fact that you know, there's across America there's an emphasis on good, healthy living, trying to, you know, reduce you know, the obesity problem and that sort of thing. So there's a family aspect and a good health aspect to these trails.
Really is. And as I mentioned earlier, where can you teach your kids to you know, ride bikes and rollerblade and do that in a safe environment where it's beautiful too. Our trails, they're not manicured landscape trails. These are out in the rural area. Many of our trails have, you know, tree canopy. You go through a canopy area where sunlight doesn't even reach you, and then you open up into a prairie where there may be horses or cattle on either side. So it's really beautiful, showing, you know, a real natural part of Volusia County.
Jerry, let's kind of paint a picture of where we stand with the trail system now. Let's start with the west side of the county up in the DeLeon Springs area. I know you've been moving from DeLeon Springs all the way down to Lake Monroe. Where do you stand?
Well, we've got on the west side, it's called the Spring to Spring, and aptly named because it connects our springs. It begins up at DeLeon Springs and comes south, and the trail's built to the entrance of Blue Springs State Park. Under construction today is the next 2.5 miles. It actually goes through the Blue Springs State Park right at the entrance.
Unbelievable.
And then bridges over the Sunrail CSX railroad track. We've got a weathered steel truss-looking bridge. It looks old when you build it.
That's good.
Rusty looking. Then it turns south and goes through a lot of habitat down to the north boundary of DeBerry. And the next 6 miles is in the planning stages, which will take you back over to US 1792, where you then have a trail that goes down to Gemini Springs, which is beautiful. If you haven't been there, oh, it's gorgeous. And then the trail continues on, has a spur over to the DeBerry Hall, the historic hall, and continues on. And when you cross Providence Boulevard into Deltona area, you got Thornaby Park, and then the Spring to Spring ends at Green Springs, which is another little park, beautiful spring and natural area.
And then I guess eventually you're heading over to 415. You got a bridge over there over in Osteen.
Just finished a beautiful bridge that crosses over what will soon be a full 4 lanes that Florida DOT is building. There's also a spur that Florida DOT is building for the county. We will be maintaining it.
Right.
It's on the east side of the 415 that's being widened today, that'll take it down to the St. Johns River Bridge and into Seminole County.
Wow. And boy, Jerry, you can't get any more scenic property than what you've just described. But one of the real exciting pieces and one of the, I guess, bedrock goals here is to connect the trails from the west side of the county to the east side of the county. You got 2 bridges, and I guess you got to build a section to connect them. What's the story there, Jerry?
That's right. Well, the county council just recently approved approximately $14 million, most of it in federal money, a couple million in county funds, but that will be for 20 more miles.
Wow.
And it'll go from the end of the trail at 415, that area. We'll go all the way over to I-95 and a spur down to Brevard County.
Wow.
And at that point, the Brevard County and the Florida DOT are building a section that will be going down to Titusville. Wow. Then there's a spur that goes under I-95, swings and parallels I-95, bridges over State Road 442 in Edgewater, and we'll go to right downtown in Edgewater to the Rotary Park there at Dale Avenue. So that piece is under construction, but the 20 miles will be going to construction probably sometime next year. We'll be hiring a engineering and design firm to do it as a combined project, a design build.
Wow.
Don't design it and then bid it out. Do it as one project, and that will accelerate it. And we're hoping that that next 20 miles will be open by the end of 2017.
Hey, Jerry, while you're here, you're also one of the other projects you're working on is the significant high-rise bridge on Orange Avenue in Daytona Beach. What's the status on that project, Jerry?
That's one of the biggest public works projects Volusia County's ever had.
Right.
It's $45 million.
Wow.
And we'll be replacing the drawbridge, which is the Veterans Memorial Bridge. It's, people refer to it commonly as Orange Avenue. It's right there near the courthouse and the Chamber of Commerce. And the design plans are complete, and it will be a bridge type of bridge that's never been built in Florida. It's going to be a concrete arch bridge with arches as you go along. It'll have overlooks. We've got about 9 overlooks on the sidewalk, 8-foot sidewalk on the south side of the bridge and 8 on the north. And it'll be just so beautiful, and I think it'll be a gathering place for people to come and admire that area.
What's the timetable for that, Jerry?
We're looking at starting construction by the end of this year.
Wow. And how long will it take to build it?
That'll be a 2-year project.
Wow.
And one important thing is it's going to be a tribute to veterans.
For folks that may want more information, how do they get more information on either one of these projects?
Well, on trails, they can visit the county's website, volusia.org, or on the Veterans Memorial Bridge. It has its own website, and that's veteransmemorialbridge.com.
And take a look at those designs, because they are beautiful.
Oh, they got renderings that are beautiful.
Well, Jerry, again, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Dave.
Our guest today, Jerry Brinton. He's the county's engineer. And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.